Yo, 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 what the deal? It's your boy X.E.L.O. Welcome back to the channel, man. Thank you guys for coming back, man. I really do appreciate it. But if you are new here, do me a favor and like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so I'll let you know when I drop another video. And make sure you leave below in the comments, I'm new here. All right, so today we're actually going to be going over the Captain Epic plugins. I'm going to kind of go through all of them just to show you what they can kind of do and what you can use them for. Let's get right into it. All right, so here we are in Cakewalk. This is my light theme. If you're interested in this theme or my dark theme, I have a link below in the description. You can download this for free. All right, so let's get started. All right, so this is Captain Play. This is probably the one I use the most so far. Basically, it gives you an option to find out what key you're in. And you can change your key to any of these keys here. We'll just leave it on, actually, let's do a C sharp, and then we'll leave it on the minor. You can give it an option to do other scales as well here, but we'll just leave it on minor. And you have an option to randomize the sound and the scale right here with this button, but we're just gonna hit on go. All right, and it gives me two options. I can use my MIDI keyboard or I can use the computer keyboard. So if you're gonna use the computer keyboard in Cakewalk, make sure that you are hitting on this thing here that gives the keystrokes to the plugin. Otherwise, you'll be changing different settings and parameters inside of Cakewalk because it's thinking you're just pressing the keyboard, right? So here is the option to change your scales and stuff here as well. Here is your audio, and you have an option to change your audio, your sound right here. And it gives you an option for a sound design. So if you click on this, as you see, it has 3 of them. And this is for the basic sounds that come with Captain plugins. They have actually updated to some newer sounds. So let's say we click on this one that has a little swirl thing on it, and you click on sound design. Now you see that the phase plant is the one who gave this hybrid layers, and you can have an option to change different things on there. So any of the ones that have that little phase plant sign on it, you'll be able to change those and use different parameters to make the sound design unique. Here's your volume, and you have music from the plugin only. So if I click on this, it'll only play music that I play from the keyboard or what's already in the MIDI for that channel. So you can even use this as just like sounds, some sounds for different genres. As you can see here, a whole bunch of different genres and sounds, and you can choose here as well of what you want to use. So I think that itself is definitely worth it. But I'm going to turn this back on, and I'm going to show you how to play stuff. All right, so if you wanted to do chords, let's say you want to use your computer keyboard, it will show you the layout of the computer here, keyboard, and let's hit Z. And it's playing a chord in this C sharp. Right? So you would hit the space bar and then start playing if you wanted to do that. You can also use your keyboard. You can click here and use the keyboard. And what's really cool about the keyboard one is that you have different sections on here that you can use. So let's say inverted up, right? And this one, we want to do 7 notes. And this one we'll use borrowed notes. So these are borrowed notes from the chord. And as you see, I'm clicking down here and this one up here is turning yellow. So the red means that I'm out of key of the actual scale. And these are 7th notes. And these are invert up notes. And they're the same exact notes. This one is just inverted. This one is 7. This one's borrowed. Really, really cool. I really like the fact that they did this in here. And of course, you can render the audio. If you actually made something in here, you can render the audio, or you can do the MIDI. All right, let's move along. All right, and this, my friends, is Captain Beat Epic. So basically what this is like a drum machine that you can actually add your own samples into here. You can do draw your own notes. If you double click the sound, it'll remove it. If you double click it, it'll add it. If you right click it, it'll remove it, right? So you can place them anywhere you want if you double click. If you have the pencil tool enabled, you can just click in the area you want it to be and it'll add it on there. And right click will bring up the eraser to erase those notes as well. So let's say we wanted to do these hi-hats here, right? And it's going to go to whatever this snap to scale is. So if I use this pencil, right, and I drag across, it's going to make the 1/16 notes. And you can go here for the velocity and move them up and down. You can hide the velocity bar if you wanted to. You can do individual ones. Let's see, if you go back to edit, I'm going to click off of them so it's not highlighted. Then I can just move any one of the volumes I want to kind of give it a different feel for the hi-hats as well. Right now it's set to 4 to the floor for these kicks. And let's say we didn't want that. Let's see if we can do some boom bapish kind of stuff. So I'm gonna change the tempo here. Let's go 90 beat per minute. And this does follow the tempo of your DAW. So whatever your DAW tempo is, this will actually follow it as well. Let's remove these out of here. You can even do like the magic record option. And basically anytime you press on the keyboard or the keyboard, your typing keyboard, just make sure you have one, give the keyboard stroke options set, and you should be able to use like your keyboard to put a kick if you're on the magic record. So I'm on the magic record. I click on the kick. Oh, gotta hit the snare at the same time. And it gives you an option to put that kick there. But you know, I don't want their kick. I'm gonna go to the edit and let's go to the smash kit because you know that's what we do. If you want to get this kit, it is in my Discord and is downloaded. You can download it for free. All right, let's run with that kick. And basically all you do is drag and drop it over here. And now I have this kick here. All right. So what's really cool about this is it gives you an option to even do like a fill. So if I click on this, it'll give me an option to do the fill. And if I go up to this where the timeline is, you see the little sound option. I can click here. And you can do fills. And they have a whole bunch of different ones in here and also by different users. So yeah, it's a really, really nice setup where you can do different things on here. And you can also do like your own, and you have your volume here and you have a sound design. So you can do like a filter cutoff if you want to here. And you can play the music from the plugin. So if you wanted to just use this as a drum machine, you can just do that, set up all your drums in here and just play it regular through your MIDI keyboard to actually make the sounds, right? And you have controls up here for your attack, your hold, decay, pitch, volume, and your panning. You have effects for your filter, reverb, and delay, and you have an option to do an export. So if I do an export, it's just going to pull out this one kick. If I do the MIDI export, it's going to do just that one kick in the MIDI form. If I do the master, it's going to pull in the hi-hats and the one kick, and this will do the one for the MIDI. So they give you plenty of options to make your stuff available. So let's say I just did, I just want to do the kick. As soon as I click it and I drag it to go bring it out, it'll just make that kick pattern. So I'm going to close this for a second, bring this down, and just that kick is there. And it's playing from the Captain Beat, so I'm going to mute that. And now we just have just that kick here. So I'm going to use my snare because of this. Let's face it, we're going to use some good stuff here. All right. And you want to go make sure you're on the basics so you can actually drag and drop where it says drag and drop here. So I can drag and drop my snare. So now my snare is on here. I'm just going to double click to add the snares. And seeing that I know I want it to be there, I can click in here and drag across. And now you see those are highlighted. So it has two options here. So you have an option to save as a fill. So you can click on this and it'll give you an option to name it and what bank it'll actually go into. And then you can save it into Captain Drums as well. Or you can click on this one, which will just duplicate it over, which I want to do. I just duplicated that over. So now what I want to do, I'm actually going to loop Cakewalk. So I'm going to go up here and just set a loop point, Shift and L. And what I want to do is play this, and I'm going to actually play out the kick myself. So I'm going to hit on this magic record once I click on the kick. So I'm on the magic record. And now I'm going to hit play. All right, so now we have just recorded with the magic record. And as you see, the kicks are in here now. All right, so now we have that set up in here. And like I said, we can drag and drop the wave files if you wanted to. We can even leave this in here. We can set it up as the MIDI. So if I go here and just drag the MIDI onto this line, it'll have the MIDI set up inside of Cakewalk if we wanted to do that as well. And more than likely, you'll probably just drag the audio out. But like I said, the features that I really like is that I can change any of these. So I can change this hat if I wanted to another hat. If I'm on the basis, if I'm on the basics, and then I go to my hats, let's see. All right, and I'm gonna drag this one and put it on there. So now I have the X hi-hat for the dripping on there. And of course, what's cool is that I can change the snap and do, let's say, a 32, right? And let's do the pencil tool and kind of just add some rolls where I want them. Let's stretch it out so I can kind of add them in here. All right, so let's say we wanted that. And I'm just gonna kind of just delete these on here. Delete those. Let's grab this section here and we can duplicate them across. All right. So now we have a pretty simple drum pattern here. Let's go and see if we can add some chords. All right, so here we are in Captain Chords. And as you see, it gives you an option for the key, just like it does in the Captain Play. And it gives you an option for your scale. So let's leave it on A minor for right now and hit go on here. So up here, you can change this if you wanted to whatever key you wanted to or whatever scale you wanted to change it to. You have an option for top chords, basically any of the like top, I guess, 20 or 100 they actually have inside here. You have a rhythm section now where you can actually change the rhythm of the actual sounds that come in. You have a Captain Play option here where you can actually play it from the keyboard or the typing keyboard. And you have an option to import MIDI as well. So if you click on that and you click on, let's say, this one, it'll ask you what file you're importing and it'll tell you what key it's actually in. And it asks if you want to transpose it to an A minor or change the project to D minor or import without any kind of transpose. So let's say we wanted to transpose everything to A. So now all the chords that are in here are in A now. So that is a really cool feature or option you have. Then, of course, you can drag the MIDI or the audio into Cakewalk. So if I wanted to drag this as an audio, you can drag it into Cakewalk, and now you have the audio file here inside of Cakewalk of just that piano. So let's solo it. Really cool, right? So I'm gonna highlight this one and we're gonna delete that. Let's go back into Captain Chords and we are going to remove this as well. Oh. All right, so you have an option just like any other one to do your own plugins. You have your own sounds, and of course they have the ones with the little swirly things on there. So if you wanted to use these, you can use these as well. All right, and you can use your own plugins if you want to use your own plugins, and this will give you the option to change that. And of course you have your effects here, your volume, and you can play this as a plugin. You can just have it just play as a regular plugin and use the sound from the Captain Chords Epic if you wanted to. So if I wanted to actually add a chord, I can just hit this plus sign here, this add, and it'll play just that chord. And you can do that for as many times as you kind of want to make a chord progression. I'm going to undo that one. Or you can just hit on here that says add progression, and it's going to add a 4-bar progression in here. Right? So these chords are coming from the top chords that they actually have, and it's doing an on-chord change. You can come down here to the bottom, and I can move this to change the rhythm of right? And you could do that for this one as well. So now we have a nice little different kind of chord progression. And you can also change the octave or invert up or down. So I can invert this key up, which is changing this A from down here and bringing it up. I can bring this back down. So this will give you an option to change or invert your chords. You can go over here and change the octave of them up or down. So if I wanted to go up, it would change it up, and down will go down. If I wanted to make it more complex, it'll add another note, which will more likely be the bass note. And you can keep adding notes if you want to make it more complex. So I'm going to take those away by hitting the minus, and you can make them even, more simple if you wanted to by taking them away as well. Right? You have a rhythm section here. So basically you can have your own rhythm. If you go here to where it says on chord rhythm change, you can hit on this and it'll give you an option for different settings that they have in here. You can actually even have a favorites section. You can even do trap and hip hop. It'll change the way it's actually set up. You have an option for all. You could do a simple, a medium, and a complex chords. And you have an option to favorite right here. And you can also have a dice roll. So it'll basically create its own chords when you keep hitting the dice and rolling the dice. Right? And they made it more human-like to actually play the chords on here. I think they did a really good job at that. The feature that I want them to bring back is the option to strum. They took away that option to strum. I'm not sure why, but I would love to have that option to still strum the keys. But like I said, these give you really good control over your sections here and your rhythm. And you also have an option for velocity. So if you wanted to change, like say this roll, just click and drag over these right here, right? And I can click and drag these down. And it gives you an option to change those keys in the middle there if you wanted to do that for the velocity. So yeah, so they have a really nice setup in here. It makes it really easy to make your own patterns. And of course you have your option to export as audio or as MIDI. But here's where the fun begins. And that, my friends, is Captain Deep. So it gives you an option to, for whatever key you're in, it'll tell you whatever key is the Captain chords in, and it'll follow that progression of whatever the Captain keys is. Captain chords is, I'm sorry. So if you scroll up, you'll see this is the chord progression. So right down here, it made its own bass. And it's basically just following whatever the chords are doing. Really simple, really cool. You have an option to change your octaves up here. You have these things will change like your notes and go from the root to whatever the seventh is, which is really cool. You can change this follow, and you can do, let's say, trap hip hop. Let's go to trap, and let's see if we can find a good one here. And just that simple, we've made a nice little bass line kind of progression in here. You can move stuff if you want to. You can move any of the options in here. You have a pencil to actually draw end notes if you want to draw end notes. And you have an option to brush. So like if you wanted to add some 32 notes in here, it'll do 32 notes because I have it set on that. And as you see, it'll draw those notes in here, whatever the snap is set to. So I'm going to undo these because I don't want to do that. Right? And of course, you have the option to import a MIDI as well. And you have the magic record where you can actually record your stuff in yourself, just like we did with the drums. Right? And you have your audio, you have other plugins that you can use and select different VSTs if you want to. And here is your volume and your loop range. So yeah, so now you have your bass, and let's say we wanted to use this bass on another track, right? So let's set one up. All right, so what I'm going to do is drag this MIDI onto this bass, and I'm going to mute the Captain plugin. So let's double click it and bring it up in the piano roll. I'm going to right click on here and just kind of grab all of them. I'm gonna hold down Control, hit the number 8, bring it up an octave. All right, so now we have that on here. So let's see if we can add the melody. All right, and this is Captain Melody. And as you see, this is kind of like a trend. It'll start off with whatever key you're in and whatever scale you're in, especially if you started with like Captain Chords. All right, so we'll click go. And in here, it gives you that same little plus sign. So you can just kind of hit the plus sign and it'll make its own melody up for you. It feels will work for this beat. All right, and that's not completely bad. Let's see if we can change that with some plucks and go. And you have also this dice here, so you can do a randomize and randomize the sounds. And then you can also add a brush in here and kind of just let's add it. And of course you have the little sound up here so I can see what I changed. So yeah, you have the pencil tools. You can actually draw stuff in as well. I'm gonna have it kind of climb up. Really simple, really easy. I just made a nice little melody to put on top. And once again, you have your option to render the audio, or you can just do the MIDI, whichever one you want to actually do. And this is why I think this is a really good plugin to actually get. If you're stuck or writer's block or anything like that, this will actually help you out tremendously, I think. If you want to just sit down and just kind of make something, these tools give you an option to do that. You can change them however you want to change them, because it's all based on MIDI, or if it's on audio, you can actually put it into a sampler after you make something like this. You can combine them together and then just make an audio sample and then use that sample for whatever you want to do, using it for different VSTs as well. I think this is a really good investment if you're going to do it, because it gives you sounds, it gives you options for melodies, it gives you options to play chords and chord progressions. There's some functions in here that I wish that they did add back. But overall, I mean, these are things I can kind of do myself, but I just rather be able to do it inside of the tool. Like the strumming part, that is one of the things I definitely want to actually get them to add back into here. But with all that being said, I think it's a really good investment if you're looking for something to inspire you, right? Because like I said, you're going to get sounds. So that's one plus right there. It comes with its own sounds. It gives you ideas that you can feed off of and build around. So you can just build around whatever you want to in here. You can use your own VSTs if you want to, and just use this as a trigger, like a chord generator if you wanted to do that as well. I think it gives you a lot of great options. And for a tool with the drums and the beat, you might not use it in like FL Studio, but I could see this really being used a lot in Cakewalk and in Reaper. You know, the DAWs that don't really have like a drum sequencer or a program like that. This is one of the ones I believe would be great for those products. But with that being said, this is the end of this video. I really do appreciate the people over there at Captain Plugins for allowing me to use this tool and check it out and see how it actually works with Cakewalk. So if you do have any questions, comments, concerns, definitely leave them below in the comment section. You know, I'll get back to you on that. I do have a Discord server, so if you guys are interested, definitely check below in the description for the Discord server. Join. We do sample flips to play back beats that you guys have, all that good stuff. But with that being said, that's the end of this video. And once again, it's your boy, X.E.L.O. Till next time, people. Peace.